All right, how are you guys? Before I get started, where's Alvaro? Is he here? I want to thank Alvaro. Where's my guy? Get over here. I want to thank Alvaro, Noemi, Demo Lab. It's very rare to be asked to present in front of a group of people that have inspired me for years. So I'm just thankful to be here, and I appreciate you, brother. I hope I do you justice. So the title, let me get out of my own slides. The title of my talk is Fix the Money, Fix the World, and why we need Bitcoin in an age of authoritarianism. Alvaro calls me and he goes, I need you to, one, explain Bitcoin to people who don't know what it is, and then explain how it's going to help us take down dictators. And I said, wow, all right, how much you paying? No, I said, all right, what do I have, an hour? And he goes, no, you got 10 minutes. And I said, okay, are there any kids in the audience? Okay. I said, well, let's frickin' go. The most foundational thing to understand Bitcoin is money, okay? To understand a solution, you got to understand the problem it's solving, okay? And Bitcoin solves this problem of money. So the question is, what is money? And if I were to boil it down in one answer, okay, money is very simply put, it's information. What do I mean by that? Money's goal in the market is to keep track of who owes what to whom, okay? If I have $100, the goal of money is that the world owes me $100 worth of stuff. That's all money's intent is to do. It's simply information of who owes what to whom. Why do we use money? Okay. This actually goes into our cognitive ability as humans. This is Dunbar's number. This is a funny cartoon that goes to show that us humans physically, like in the neurons and science that we're made up of, we cannot conceptualize relationships more than 150 people. So when your friend is like, I got 1,000 friends on MySpace, no, you don't. That's cognitively impossible. You can't have 1,000 friends. We kind of tap out at 150 as human beings. And you guys can look this up. It's Dunbar's number. And so what we did as humans is we created a technology called money. Money's a technology just like an airplane. There's good versions of it, there's bad versions of it. You would not use a banana to fly off a cliff across the ocean. You'd probably kill yourself, right? That would be a bad airplane. And there's a such thing as very good money and very bad money, and it solves this specific problem. And so what I need you guys to understand is that money scales human cooperation. I'm going to take a second and explain this one really quickly. One, it solves a problem called the coincidence of wants, okay? Let's say Alvaro and I are in a little town with a population of 10 people. And I say, here, Alvaro, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go get the fresh water, and I'm going to start the fire for tonight. Now, Alvaro wants to stay warm tonight, so he wants the fire I'm going to create. I need water to survive or else I'll die. I want the water he's getting. We coincidentally want what each other has and have what each other wants. Now, I have a buddy that fixes windshields for a living from my hometown, okay? If I say, hey, I'll start the fire tonight, and he goes, okay, cool, I'll fix your windshield. Yep. I don't own a car. Now, that's the coincidence of wants, is that he wants what I have, but I don't want what he has. See, money solves this, is that he can go fix people's windshields and he can get money, and then he can use the money to get the things that he wants. You see? And this actually enables something else called the division of labor, where as our money has gotten better, humans can specify on simpler and more extreme tasks. Like we can have a windshield wiper fixer, we can have a therapist, we can have a doctor, because these people are solving very specific problems for anyone that actually has demand for them. They don't need to solve a problem for the person that they want to exchange with. Make sense? So if you understand these very philosophical ideas of money, you understand that money is very simply stored human effort. All of us, we wake up and we contribute value to one another, right? You sacrifice your time, your energy, your effort, your labor. There's times you want to hit snooze on your alarm, but you can't because you got to go to work. And what you get in exchange for that is money. And so money is our ability to take value we're creating today and bring it with us tomorrow. And so when you understand that concept, you understand that an ability to save money is actually your ability to carry forward your dignity. Okay, money, in my opinion, is one of the most, if not the most important invention in human history. Without money, a society would only be able to be 150 people in population before we'd start to fall apart, right? And it is our ability to create value with us today, bring it with us tomorrow, and later exchange it. It's what allows us to be future-oriented species, place a premium on our future. I'm not going to go to the beach today. I'm not going to soak in the sun today. No, I'm going to get to work. I'm going to create value because I can believe in tomorrow. And I can believe in tomorrow because I can take the value I create with me tomorrow. Makes sense? Okay. Now, this famous quote, "It is not the tool that is evil, but the use to which it is put," right? Any monetary instrument itself is not evil. It's the people using the tool that is evil. So now that we conceptually understand that money is a proxy to us in our value, in our dignity, in our effort, in our time, in our energy. In theory, the money that you have reflects the contributions you've made to those around you, okay? Money is power. It's very powerful. And so, unfortunately, if you live in a society where people can control the money, they can control you. If someone can debase and make your money worth less, by proxy, they're making you worth less. The time and energy that you spent to earn that money is debased. When housing gets more expensive, when vacations get more expensive, when food gets more expensive, they are debasing you and your dignity and your time and your energy. They're saying you as a human being, instead of working 10 years, to own a home, you have to work 40 years to own a home. Instead of a career supporting a family of 10, a career now only supports a family of 2. Okay? Permit me to issue and control the money of a nation, and I care not who makes its laws. The ability to control money, which is human time and energy in an abstracted form, is one of the most important things that we need to optimize for. And it depends, are you a good person or a bad person? But the battle for money is the championship. It's the Super Bowl, in my opinion. Okay, now, historically, there's been 2 versions of money from a high level. Again, this guy gave me 10 minutes. On the left, you have lists, okay? So again, if money's information, it's who owes what to whom. Well, one way we can do that is just write it down, right? Now, the other way is a physical token, okay? So, who owes what to whom? I write it down. Alvaro owes me water. Jack owes Alvaro fire tonight, right? The token is if I have 100 ounces of gold, the world owes me 100 ounces worth of gold of stuff, right? And that's how we would keep track of who owes what to whom. Now, each have pros and cons. Okay, lists are very easily corruptible. Who controls the list? You know, I might write in like, Alvaro also owes me some bison, and Alvaro also owes me a song and a dance. That's not very fair. They're easily corruptible, right? What we live in today at the Federal Reserve and the US dollar, that's a giant list. And people control that list and they abuse that power, right? Now, the physical items like gold, unfortunately, they don't scale. Gold was great if we lived in a small community and I was physically handing my butcher or my tailor or my grocer the gold coin. How do I get a gold bar to Nigeria? I can't. And so what I do is I deposit the gold to the government and I trust them to help me get it there. But then one day the government says, oh, your time and energy is now ours because we're so indebted and we've borrowed so much human effort from our future that your money's our money. And so we've kind of oscillated between lists and physical tokens that neither work today, okay? Now, what is Bitcoin? Well, again, 10 minutes. I'm going to have to be simple here. The concept is that Bitcoin is bearer money made of information. I love all the AI talks. I use my little AI to make this image. It's like a physical object grown of the list. Bitcoin is information that behaves and acts like a physical token. This is where I might lose you, but we got Q&A after. So if I'm losing you, just ask the question. I'm dedicated to making sure you guys follow me here. What Satoshi Nakamoto found a way to do, and I can't teach you guys computer science in this presentation, so you're just going to have to believe me and research it later, but the computer science problem he solved was turning digital information and making it behave like a physical object, meaning you can't print any more of it. You can't copy and paste it and make it yours. Okay, so when you hear things like the Bitcoin blockchain, all the blockchain is a list. Like we talk about money as a list, it's information, it's who owes what to whom. This really convoluted, complicated concept that people want you to pay really expensive fees for them to teach it to you, it's not that complicated. It's a giant list keeping track of who owes what to whom. Now, the innovation that Satoshi and the creators of Bitcoin solved is that everyone can have access to the list, so we all can see it, but no one can control it. That's the big innovation, okay? And so again, if you guys have Bitcoin questions, I'll be able to answer them. But understanding this concept, Bitcoin, very simply put, is informational money. Now, we bring that back to human rights, okay? Bitcoin as a money is as private as information. Think about that for a second. Bitcoin as a money is as secure as you can keep information. If you can keep information private, if you can hold a secret, if you can hold a password, Bitcoin is private. Nobody can know how you're moving your money. If you can secure information, if you can hold a secret in your head, there's nothing more secure than Bitcoin. Bitcoin is as fast as information. How fast can I move a Bitcoin? Well, how fast can I send information? Can I send information from here to Nigeria? Yeah, damn right I can. That's how fast I can move a Bitcoin. Bitcoin is as global as information. Who has access to Bitcoin? Anyone that can access information, okay? Bitcoin is as inclusive as information. These are all like, guys, if you think about the dollar or gold, I mean, these are not easy properties to have achieved for a monetary instrument. Everyone that can access and hold information, which I don't know, once you become 2 years old, I don't know that level of human capability, but once you're old enough, you can use Bitcoin. Bitcoin is property rights that is protected by math and cryptography, that's the computer science part, but that you can put in your head. I had a line at a talk I'd given a few years ago where I said, you know, if I want to smuggle gold, I got to put it up my butt, right? If I want to smuggle Bitcoin, I can put it in my brain. And I'm not saying put it in my brain through my ear or my mouth or my nostrils. It's information. It's property rights that I could safely store in my head, okay? Also, Bitcoin is moral code, so it's software. I believe that the story of humanity is the story of engineering a better world. I fundamentally believe that, and software is our latest iteration of that, okay? And what Bitcoin's code effectively instills as law is you shall not censor. Bitcoin treats everyone equally. There is no such thing as you got to have blonde hair and blue eyes. There's no such thing, okay? You shall not inflate. You cannot debase the money I've earned and make my time, energy, effort, and labor worth less. You shall not confiscate, you shall not counterfeit, and you shall not steal. What's mine is mine, and it is not yours, okay? This is the moral code of Bitcoin. And for that reason, I'm here in large part, and I believe, and I will fight for, and have been for a very long time, that Bitcoin's the money that they hate. And doesn't matter. At this point, people in Manhattan are facing the same problem, is that there is a central party debasing their time and energy and making their dignity worth less. And then there are half the global population that's living under an authoritarian regime. So it just, you input your own day. But sorry for the kids. Bitcoin's fuck you money. That's why they hate it. Because fuck you. What's mine is mine. You can't censor me. You can't debase me. I can move it as fast as I want. That's why, they hate it because it's fuck you. That's why. Bitcoin is strength in numbers in both ways. It uses both really large numbers and cryptography to instill power and rights for the individual. The reason Bitcoin can't be hacked is because of the mathematics it uses. It's also strength in numbers is that it gets stronger the more we all buy into it, right? It has network effects and economies of scale that are really important. It's the largest and most powerful computer network in the world today. It inverts the power balance. The David versus Goliath. Anyone can opt into this moral code and get these properties, no matter who they are, where they are. You can become more powerful than a monetary oppressor just by making a choice. And so I end it with, there are two ways to express power in the world, period. Either with your voice or by exiting. And when voice is no longer sufficient, we exit. And Bitcoin is our peaceful exit. I'm not here telling anyone to pick up a rifle. I'm not here to tell anyone to harm anybody. We can make significant change by adopting open source software that's free. And that's all I got.